What's going on, everybody? You are now listening to the Fitness Headspace podcast, brought to you by Deion Avril from Evolve Fitness, where we get fit and we do not quit. All right, episode 17. So we're going to be rolling right into it. But before we do, if you all can go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe. And once again, thank you everyone that I had already posted on IG to go ahead and come over and follow. You guys did, subscribed. Greatly appreciated. If we could continue to just share this message, because I promise y'all, we got something big. We got something big coming. It's already here. All we're doing is continuing to manifest. All right. Now, quick little update. Website is close to done. There's going to continuously be updates with the things as things are rolling out. So again, we're looking about approximately the first or second week of September, just finishing up things like photos and whatnot, and just getting client photos. So everybody got busy lives. So we're just trying to make it work with what we got. All right. So pardon moi, first and foremost, if you guys hear any noise in the background, you're hearing this right now because I'm actually getting my pre-workout ready, because as soon as I'm done, we about to go slide through to the gym and flex on them. But today's topic is actually going to be a little bit different than our normal topic. And that's going to be the 7 things that I've learned on my path to fitness. I wanted to start, again, switching things up, giving you guys variation of topics and things of that sort in regards to what we're discussing, until we can get some of the additional people onto the podcast. And also, one more thing, if you hear any noise in the background, that's downstairs. Hopefully it doesn't annoy you, but we're going to keep rolling with the punches. All right. Now, the first thing I know for me that was really important was understanding, and I say understand as opposed to understand, because I don't like the fact that we should be under anything besides a bar. You feel me? But understanding the fact that it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's something that you need to be mindful of, because if we're looking to sculpt our ideal and dream body, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. And with a lot of social media content that we see now, there's this whole hype about purchasing, a 4-week program. Like, I could see a 6-week program for sure, but purchasing a 4-week program, which does work too, or I see more of the 10-day, 8-day type situations, which I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. You get what I'm saying? Because it can happen, but is it healthy is the question. You shouldn't be losing more than about roughly, especially for an average person, about roughly 1 to 2 pounds per week. So we're looking at about roughly 8 pounds a month. So if you're losing more than that, that's concerning. But again, just being mindful that to create your body, the body that you want, especially, let's put it this way, your body is the art canvas, right? Now, you as the artist has to utilize different tools, which is going to be all different types of paint or any additional painting accessories that you might need on the canvas. Now, as you're creating the canvas, everything that you're utilizing will sculpt or create something a little bit differently, whether it's shadowing, whether it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's the depth of perception, anything of that nature. They all correlate with one another. So this is what you want to be mindful of, because once you finish your masterpiece, it looks great. But remember, you're always going to be your worst critic, meaning you're always going to want to improve, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a negative at all. That's the best part about it. You're always constantly working on your body and making sure that you have, you have something better to reach for, as far as another goal that we can set, so we can continue to maintain your progress, along with creating new goals, so then you can achieve those and obtain those as well too. So it's always it's an ongoing cycle, which is phenomenal, because it creates healthy habits within your lifestyle too. So that's number 1, is just understanding that, or I should say again, understanding. So now you guys can hear the difference. Understanding the fact that it should not be a sprint. Do not rush. Do not try to, do the quick way out, because as they used to say, how I was raised, a lot of the old heads used to tell us, fast money ain't always good money. And it's as easy as it is to gain it, It's that easy for you to lose it. Now, again, to each their own, but that's just something I wanted to share with you all. Now, secondly, learning to love your body through the process. I couldn't tell you all how many times that as I was going to the gym, especially within the first couple of years coming out of high school, I honestly did not pay any attention of recording myself to at least watch my form. That was the number one thing why I should have recorded myself. Now, not living in the past, but just giving you that as an example. Another thing is trying to idolize other people and their physiques as opposed to focusing my attention on my capabilities currently and what I plan on achieving in the future, and just setting those goals so that I can move forward. I was too stuck in watching bodybuilding videos and watching all these different people, and I recently just started, getting into bodybuilding and knowing some of this stuff. Like, this was never anything that I really, had a big passion about. So for me, it was just more like, whatever. And as I'm looking at my body, I'm like, okay. Didn't know anything about, just weighing myself on a regular basis, taking progress photos, things of that sort. So I didn't learn how to love my body throughout this process, mainly due to the fact of, one, I wasn't documenting the process. So I had no clue in regards to what improvements and what I should be happy about, because I didn't know what I was improving, as dumb as that sound. But at the time, I had no clue about lifting. So this is coming from a standpoint of a blank canvas, speaking from that perspective of not knowing anything, just trying to go in. I knew a little bit of something, knew the basics of form and stuff like that. But again, learning to love your body through the process, and not shaming yourself and saying, man, I don't look good enough, or I still feel fat, or I still don't do this. And the one thing that I like to do is, especially with some of my clients, there's multiple different techniques that I use. But for example, what I like to do is talk to my client and say, okay, cool. I know you feel this way. I'm listening to you, right? But my question to you is, what are the positive notes in regards to your progress as far as what you've reached so far? So if you're telling me like, I still feel a little meh, but my clothes are fitting better, I do notice that my shoulders are getting a lot, you got a lot more definition in your shoulders, your legs, you're starting to see your quad sweeps. You're still making progress. It might not be the progress exactly where you want it at this point in time, but again, you have to trust the process. Everything happens in due time, and this connects with the first one. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And once you understand that, it'll make the whole process a little bit easier, because again, it's not an easy process for a lot of people. It's something that you have to dedicate yourself to and be consistent with. Okay. So the third thing, which goes into exactly the last few words that I just said, was being inconsistent. And the one thing that I've noticed with being inconsistent was just the fact of it it makes life hard, especially when it comes to the gym. So being inconsistent overall in general in life, like I said, is horrible as far as a standpoint of having discipline and dedication and all these other things and having a routine. But ultimately, there's nothing worse. And I just had this happen because I had my trap had a whole issue. There's nothing worse than not going to the gym for a really long time, or here and there, and then trying to get right back into it. It doesn't work like that. You have to ease your way back in, because the unfortunate part is the lack of motivation. That was where that's where I personally was having an issue. My lack of motivation was crazy, because it got to a point where I was like, dude, I don't even feel like going to the gym anymore. Like, what was the point? I already injured myself. Why am I going to go? Yeah, I could work on lower body, but then I'm going to look, I'm not going to be proportioned. But at the same time, I had to be mindful that the gym was and still is my form of therapy, because I train people all day. And the one time that I have to myself for at least a minimum of an hour, besides on a computer, because I'm still doing something, is in the gym by myself. This is why I don't have a training partner. And it's nothing against anyone. It's just, this is my time to decompress and decompartmentalize everything that's been going on throughout the day, what might be going on later on moving forward, and just having my time for me and being in a zen mode, more so to say, if that makes sense. But again, just keep in mind that everybody's circumstances are different. So as far as if it's work, if you have a job where you're kind of like more so on call, or the schedule changes on a week to week basis, sometimes on a day to day basis, depending on where you work at, it's completely understandable. But just be mindful of that, that inconsistency, because that will catch up. I'd rather y'all go to the house and still work out as opposed to completely missing the workout. Even if you do a little core, a little something, I promise you're going to feel better afterwards. But to not do anything, and then on top of that, not seeing any progress, fall into a sense of depression, and it becomes this whole like downfall, and that's the last thing we want. We always want to make sure that we're doing our best to feel and look good, while having fun and creating these healthy habits that we're trying to implement on our life on a day-to-day basis. All right. So that's number 3. Now, number 4, what you eat makes a difference. I can't stress this enough. And the reason why this is so important, you might have heard that saying, you are what you eat. If you want to be a person, and I don't expect you to be a fitness enthusiast or, like a fitness model or anything of that sort, but if you're somebody that's passionate about your health and making sure that you're in a position where, in the event that you do have to go to the doctors and get a blood test or anything of that nature done, just to see what's going on with your blood levels and any deficiencies that you might have, you'll be in a position where you know that your body is healthy. You don't have to worry about your doctor telling you like, hey, you got a fatty liver because you're eating shit. Like, so basically the eating is going to be a staple of it all. And that was one thing that I personally didn't understand at all. And what I mean by that was, the first thing that I thought about when doing this whole thing, I was like, bro, I'm not about to buy a scale. I'm not weighing no food. That's too much. I'm not tracking macros. That was the first thing I said. Instead of taking the time and doing the due diligence to understand that, hey, they make apps for this. You could just scan stuff, right? Like, it's super simple. And it gives me a perspective of how some of my new clients, when they're coming on board, them being hesitant as far as utilizing these apps because they feel like it's a lot of work. And I always tell them, I said, hey, let me break it down to you this way. So you want to know exactly how many calories to eat, or you want to know how exactly we can lose your weight. This is what we need to do. Let's track your macros for 1 week. Once we do that, we'll have an understanding of where exactly you are. Then from there, that'll be our average, and we'll just kind of focus on incorporating what we found and then making the tweaks necessary, every couple of weeks or whatever amount of time that we need to accordingly. So another saying that you might have heard is your abs are made in the kitchen. And it's true. Like, it really is, because again, a majority of what you eat is going to make a difference of how your physique looks. And with your physique, one, you want to make sure that you're feeding your muscles, replenishing your muscles, making sure that you have the proper amount of macronutrients and micronutrients for other mechanisms as well too, as far as of action, and making sure that your body is it's functioning properly. Right? You don't want a deficient body while you're in the gym and then trying to gain muscle, but meanwhile you're deficient in other things, which is why you're having a disconnect as far as seeing any improvement of muscle growth, muscle development, or anything of that nature. So again, just giving you guys a perspective of one of the things that I had noticed as well too from that. Pardon me for 1 second. Let me get a swig of this pre-workout. So if you're wondering what I'm drinking, there's 2 different pre-workouts that I use. Before we get into the next point. So I'm using right now Core Nutritionals. It's Fury, the next generation pre-workout. This is one of my favorite ones, along with Gorilla Mode from Gorilla Mind. I just ran out of that one yesterday, so that's why I'm swapping out over to the Core Nutritional ones. But yeah, we're about to hit this gym. We're about to do a nice little combo workout. But let's keep it moving. So let me bring up my notes real quick. Now, the next thing is, remember that your journey is unique to you. And the reason why this is really important is because we get caught up in the sauce of focusing on how other people's progress is going, how other people's journey look, or why doesn't mine look like this? Why am I not progressing like this person? Why doesn't it happen this way? We just have like 30 million questions all at one time shooting in our brain, and we're trying to answer them logically. And that's not going to work. And the reason being is because you have to understand this. Listen closely. You have to understand this. When you're working out, whether it's by yourself, specifically when you're working with somebody else, you guys don't use the same weights. You guys don't use the same adjustments as far as for the seats, leg, back, arm, whatever machine you're on. You guys don't move the same way as far as you guys are pushing through the motions. As far as what your form looks like will not look the same. These are some of the things that you want to be mindful of. And this is why I said that your journey is going to be completely different than the next person. So that's just like you coming to me as a coach and you want me to design a program. I would hope that you would want to see a program designed specifically for you and not some cookie cutter that I give to, people in a big box gym. Because again, making sure that you understand the importance of your body will move different than the next person, and giving your body time to adapt and make the adjustments moving forward. So you might not see any change, or your body might not make the adjustment quite yet, but in due time it will. So just take your time and just remember that your journey is yours. Your journey is yours, and it's as unique as you. Okay? Now, last but not least, trust your body. Trust your body. And I say this phrase, you know your body better than anybody else does. Anybody could go to school for any type of degree. Granted, they're going to know how the body moves, but if it still feels uncomfortable to you is what I'm saying. Nobody knows your body better than you do. Especially most people that you run into as far as telling you how to do a movement, because a lot of people who are in the gym, these are bros or sisters, and their form is not the best, but they're trying to give advice on how to perform the movement, and the movement is not being shown properly. So just be very mindful of trusting your own body. If I know I can't get under that weight of 3, 4, 5 plates, I'm gonna tell, hey, listen, this ain't happening. Dang, bro, like you getting weak. So, like, my knee not feeling that right now, because for me to do this ego stroke right now and to potentially, tear something, was it worth it? Hell no, it wasn't worth it. You get what I'm saying? Just to get oh yeah, bro, you did that. Give me a slap on the back or give me a little recording. Okay, and you know what I'm saying? Like. So remember, just trust your body. You know what works for you. If you feel like your routine needs to be changed as far as how many days, talk to your coach or change it yourself. If you're going 5 days, go to 4. Like for me, I used to do 5. I stopped and went down to 4. And then my next phase, I'm going to go back into 5. And then I'm going to start making adjustments as far as my split. So I know my body better than anybody else does. This week, I won't lie to y'all, I skipped 2 days. No, one day out of the gym, 1 or either 2 days. Like every day has been all together basically at this point, as you could see. But what I'm saying is I know when to take breaks. Yes, this is my job, but I know when to take breaks. You get what I'm saying? And that's with anything in life. Too much of anything will burn you out. So don't burn out. Just take your time. If you need a rest, if you need to take a seat back, then do that. You get what I'm saying? So it's just something to be mindful of throughout your journey as you are moving forward. The other thing that I want to talk about real quick, just a part 2 of the trust your body. Give me 1 second. The second thing is the fact of trust your gut. Trust your gut. Just trust your gut. You'll know. You will know. And you're probably, what do you mean? So doesn't matter what movement, doesn't matter when it comes to food, anything is what I'm saying. Trust your gut. Recently, within the last few months, I did a ketogenic diet, or a meal plan. I don't like calling it a diet, ketogenic meal plan. And it went well. It went phenomenal. Did I feel great? Absolutely not. I was carb deprived. Did I need to do that? No, not necessarily. In the event, I was trying to do a show, but yeah. Now reflecting back, it just helped me realize what I'm capable of, and instilled and created more discipline and dedication to what I do and why I do it. Now I'm able to listen a lot deeper. Although I'm a great listener now, but I listen a lot deeper when clients are speaking to me, or potential clients or friends or whatever, when they're asking questions. You get what I'm saying? So again, trust your gut. Know what works best for you, because if I know that the ketogenic meal plan didn't work for me afterwards, and I was just like, bro, forget it, then I'm just done with it. I'm not going to sit here and keep doing it over and over again and depriving myself and then be mad, because I'm flat and I look like I have no muscles, although I look striated and shredded, but I still look flat. Can't get a pump in the gym. So these are things that sucked. But ultimately, again, these are just some of the things that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. And being mindful as far as things to look out for throughout your path, throughout your fitness path. And again, I'll recap really quick. So number 1, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Number 2, learn to love your body throughout this whole process. Number 3, being inconsistent is dead ass like starting over. So do your best to try to keep some type of consistency. All right. The next one, which is number 4, you are what you eat / abs are made in the kitchen / what you eat makes a difference. Number 5, your journey is as unique as you. Number 6, trust your body. And I did miss one, unfortunately. So I'll tap into it really quick. I thought I could have sworn I scrolled over by accident. But form is crucial. Form is important. Let me explain it to you this way. Whenever you're building anything, what do you need? It starts with the letter F. Foundation. If you do not have foundation, you will not have a building. You will not have a car. You will not have a house. You will not have anything. Anything. As common sense as that sounds, it is not common practice. So now that we have set the tone for that, your form is going to take you on a journey for the rest of your fitness career, or your fitness journey, I should say. Now, why? If you don't have the basic knowledge and understanding of how to do these movements properly, not even do them properly, then, for lack of better words, it's going to be a shit show when you get towards the end. And not even the end. I'm talking about getting towards your like intermediate phase, where it's been a couple of months and you're like, okay, cool, I've been doing this for a minute and I feel great. But if your form is not great, that ain't it. It ain't gonna work out well. I promise you, it's not gonna work out well. So just be very mindful of your form. Form is probably gonna be like my top 2 or 3 out of all of the 7 that I've given you. Just due to the fact of, again, you cannot progress, or what we call progressive overload, which is just basically giving your body the opportunity to add more load and not get used to what you're already using. This is just like layman's term. This is like very basic definition. This is not exactly what it means, but to have everybody understand it on a very general, basic level. And it's going to be really hard to increase that weight if you don't have that. So you could do a lot more sets, you could do a lot more reps, whatever. But if you're not increasing weight, that's one of the variables that's really important as well too. So just remember, form is really important. Now, family, we have reached the end, and I appreciate you all sticking with me. If you have, I thought it was going to be like a 20-minute little, shindig, but apparently it's still about 25 minutes, which is cool. But I just want to thank you all for just taking the time to listen to what I have to say. And please take some of this knowledge and share it with someone else that will benefit from this information and this channel. I'd greatly appreciate you. And we're going to continue building this community, and you're going to start to see the rest of the team just pop up on the podcast, and you're going to see it all over IG and all of the different social media platforms. So just be ready, y'all. I'm telling y'all, just be ready. And if you guys could go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment, let's go ahead and rock this algorithm. Like I said before, I'm trying to just get this information to everybody and anybody that would appreciate it. And we're not asking anything. We're not asking for anything, right? Free is always good for me. So with that being said, family, you all have a wonderful evening, afternoon, well, I'm not going to say that M word. I don't like to use that word. Or early rising day, if you get my drift. So with that being said, we are out, and we will see you guys on episode 18.